Good morning, everybody. It is Monday, March 27th, 8:35 a.m. Let's just pull up what we got for news today. We got nothing. So let's get rid of that. That was fairly quick. And I want to take a look at something because this is the hourly chart for oil, and I'm remembering for some reason one of the hypotheses we did Friday morning, and I hope my screenshots work, but I'm remembering that one of them had the outer extremes. We talked about one for a trend up, one for a trend down, and one for outer extreme. I just want to see. I might be crazy. I might be crazy, but let's see. I'll pull it up to show you what it is I'm talking about. Okay, this was the S&P. This was S&P oil. Okay. What we drew out was upside towards former microcomposite VPOC. Sorry about this, guys. Upside towards former microcomposite VPOC overnight high and potentially microcomposite VPOC above that. Downside overnight low, and then pretty much staying within that range. Now, if you keep looking at the other hypotheses, you'll see one for trend down, one for trend up, and one in this case for a range. Let's look at how close we came to this being the top side, this being the downside. Top side came towards microcomposite VPOC overnight high, about 7-8 ticks from the second microcomposite VPOC. Downside stretched out below overnight low. My point is, when you look at those hypotheses and you keep them in mind, not to the tick, okay? Sometimes they do. Sometimes we draw one out, and it's not just that we draw it out. I guarantee you, if you looked at other people that are trading using volume profile ideologies, that they are also very, very similarly drawing out some of these ideas. But when you look at them and you say, all right, we've come down to one of the areas that we're watching to see, is this going to become the extreme of a range bound day, or is this going to show the fact that we're going to turn into a trend day? And we talk about when we get below overnight low, it looks like we're going to test the low from the previous day. Let's see what happens. Are we going to get beneath it, get resistance, and then move further? Sorry, I should be drawing that as I say it. Are we going to come beneath it, get resistance, and move further down? Or are we going to come down to it, hold, get back above, treat it as support, and then go away? So many times now, you guys have heard me talk about my planning and what I show you guys when we plan. Pretty good. We do a pretty good job of understanding what the potential moves for the day are, what some of the things that make sense are for the day ahead. We don't always execute. We being me, does not always execute properly, but one step at a time. Okay, so I'll adjust those levels on the homework chart since they're very obvious at that point, and I'm going to find my overnight high, overnight low, and overnight VPOC. Overnight low. That seems like a pretty active overnight session here. Overnight high and overnight VPOC. Okay. This tiny one here is for the trading that happened after 2:30 on Friday till the market actually closed at at 5. So I honestly don't even really use that data. I will actually, I'll tell you what I will do. I will capture that swing. See this high here? I will count that. Actually, no, I won't. That's technically already overnight. Never mind. I'm sorry. Okay. So we have our lines are plotted. Let's take a look at what happened overnight. Where's our close? We closed here on Friday from the regular pit session. And we are predominantly net short tonight. Looks like we made an attempt to push up to 48.30. Actually, let me just bring you this so you can see what that was. 48.30 was the high from Thursday. Actually, this was if we look back at some of the old homework, we did look at this on Friday as an further upper end in an upwards move. We looked at this as one of the areas that we might turn at, but 48.30 was tested very close to it last night, and then we failed there, coming all the way back down towards 47.34. Decent range for overnight trading, almost 100 ticks. We've really consolidated down here. Take a look at this B-shaped profile. We're definitely looking for the potential of a move back up at the open, and we'll plot that out on our homework. We're looking for a move back up. B-shaped profile, inventory, net short, and we'll add to this for one of our hypotheses when we pull in our homework chart right now. Okay, so let's give ourselves some room to work with here. I got 49.20 to the upside. This is perfect. 46.63. Now I'm just looking at how much space I have to draw, and this is absolutely perfect. So since I have now drawn a micro composite, I'm going to stretch it across. It certainly is the Friday's trading certainly is bound within that micro composite, so that's going to get moved over. In just 1 second, I'm also checking levels. We see this swing level down here held. That's going to remain on the chart. We see we'll put the high in from Friday. Which matches pretty much exactly to a former microcomposite VPOC. Okay, so we'll also put in the low from Friday. Mark that off here. And we'll adjust it if needed on the trigger chart. So let's include these now in our microcomposite. And what I don't see here, although we drew our microcomposite, it doesn't look like we drew our microcomposite VPOC. So now we have that as well. All right, so let's get back. Let's give ourselves a little bit more space here. That's pretty good. And we are currently trading at 47.51. Sitting at a former VPOC here. Let's take a look at what we're watching for. What I'd really like to see this morning, based on the inventory net short, based on the shape of the profile from overnight, what I'd really like to see, push down, even a break below overnight low. And I'm looking for my first place where buyers step in. I'm going to be watching for a long, and I'd like it to match up with any one of these levels and look for an opportunity to go long, ultimately get back above overnight low, fill the gap that we're opening with. It's a very small gap from Friday's low to today's open. If we open here, fill the gap, test yesterday's value area low, get into the value of yesterday, and then ultimately make our way up towards high of day from Friday. That's going to be hypo 1. any of these levels can be where we hold and turn to fulfill hypo 1, including even overnight low. Okay. So we're gonna watch. We watch as we get to there, and we'll see if something tells us that level may hold. Hypo 2. We're going to look at a. I'm actually going to do that. We're going to look at a move to overnight low, see overnight low hold, ultimately come back up, get through these here, maybe chop around overnight VPOC, and ultimately get up into yesterday's value. I think we're going to move that out, to yesterday's high. Now, that being said, this from a range bound perspective really does look potentially that could be the case. We are right near the value area low off of this micro composite, and this former MCVPOC is also coinciding with this low volume node in the micro composite. These moves can actually come up to here as well, and like we drew in the other one, can come, overnight low to overnight high would be a very realistic range today. Oh boy, let's see. Well, that's not bad. Not bad. All right, so we're going to print that. Okay. Then thirdly is going to be a break to the downside, and I think that's going to happen. We have our gap down. We'll come up, test value area low. Value area low will hold, or very near to it. We come down, hold overnight VPOC, test overnight low, break, and I think if we start making our move down here, we got some space. I'm not even going to draw the choppiness in here because honestly, I don't have the level that I would use as my turning point. So we might have to look at some potential Fibonacci extensions, or we'll see if there's any clues we can get from the trading at that point. But this is going to be hypo 3, and that's if we first to potentially see a move down. Let's also now take a look as a move up. And again, I think it would start with some build up from the downside, and then ultimately same thing. We would move up just like we did in hypo 2, but the difference is we don't stop here, we don't stop here, we don't stop here. We get above this low volume node and ultimately see, obviously I think there'd be a pullback somewhere, but maybe value area high here from Thursday. But ultimately we see if we can't get to the upper end of this that we have marked off by these two levels. That would be a decent sized move, 145 ticks or so from where the low overnight low is. So if we do follow this pattern, that's a pretty big move, but not an uncommon one for oil. All right, so that'll be 4. Okay, so that has given us our homework. Let's see here, we got about 12 minutes. I'll tell you what, we're going to take the time to do a real quick look here at the S&P. Okay, let's move VPOC overnight high. I'm sorry, value area high. Value area low is already where it needs to be. A tick or so off. Let's go get overnight high, overnight low. Overnight low. overnight high. A lot of lines seem to be, converging here as I'm drawing these out. Overnight VPOC. And now we're going to, let's just take a look. We are 100% inventory net short. We're going to be looking at probably some similar ideas as we saw on oil. This distribution is a little bit more balanced, though, overnight. Now, granted, the overnight distributions don't matter as much in the S&P as it does in oil, but we are 100% net short. We are definitely going to be looking for some type of correction at the open, and let's see if we can't find a reasonable idea of what that would be. So this level held. I'm going to copy and paste it. I know it's only a couple ticks if I move it, but I love the fact that it held so well. So that's staying on there. We did not test any. We tested this level here. So this swing is going to get removed, and then we need to add in the high as a swing. Okay, we don't have any market composites down here. We are absolutely getting to the point where we can start drawing one. Let's scrunch this up a little bit and see what this looks like. Oh, good. Okay, so we drew one up here. All right, that's fine. But we don't have one drawn down here, and we have one going back. That's what, 58.75. Let's see where that is in relation to us. Okay, so that's way up here. Okay, so we are going to draw in a microcomposite coming off of these 3 days here. These 3 days have absolutely been in balance. And we're going to plot our microcomposite VPOC. Beautiful. All right, let's take a look at where we're currently trading. 24 even. 24. Oh, not so much for the microcomposite VPOC. We're outside of there. All right. So, see what we're looking at. What would be ideal, and we talked about, if I remember right, we talked about on Friday how there's very little volume in here, so we would have expected this move to happen fairly easily, and you see overnight that it did. Now, I did not realize, let me see, I thought we were closer to overnight low. Well, I guess not. Okay. So, 24. This is what we were, right around here. So we're trading right at overnight VPOC. Okay, so what I'd love to see this morning is an opening push down. Remember, we talked about this with oil, same exact idea. Opening push down. Even this would be a nice spot, even overnight low. But anywhere that we start seeing buyers step in, I want to buy. I believe that we are inventory. I know we're inventory net short. I believe we're going to get a correction. I believe we're going to at least make an attempt to fill the gap. Now, keep in mind, the gap rules are the assumption is you will not fill the gap until shown otherwise. I'm going to draw out several hypotheses. This is just one of them. But I think with how short the inventory is, I think with where we with this balance that we had here, okay, I'm going to come back to that idea when I draw my second hypothesis. The fact that we're opening out of range openings do tend to lead to larger moves, not necessarily in the direction of the gap. So, but we are going to draw a couple of ideas. So this is going to be hypo 1. I'm looking to buy at the open. I'm looking to buy a push down with ultimately coming to test the overnight low, and then we're going to start watching to see does overnight low hold its resistance, or if we can break it. I'm sorry, yesterday's low, Friday's low. If we can break it and it turns into support, at that point we are back into the range of Friday, and we're looking for a test of value area low. This is going to be hypo 1. I would love for the day to play out this way. All right, so that's 1. And I'm going to have to stop myself for a minute. I got some belly rumblings here, and I'd like to get back for the open. So I'm sorry I won't be able to do more of the S&P yet. I should have a chance to do it before the S&P actually opens. So if you would just give me a few minutes, I'm going to pause this. Okay, sorry about that. What do we got? We have about a minute to the open. Oh, looks like my bids turned blue again instead of the green. I guess every time it gets restarted, that's what's going to happen. Okay, here's yesterday's low, here's Friday's low on oil, so tiny gap. You can see as we push down here from low to low, we have not had positive divergence, so everything would tell us that if we come to the low, we're going to look to test further. And at this point, I'm watching for a buying opportunity. I'd love for it to be near a level for me. You know, even this former consolidation back here. There's a push down. No buying coming in there yet. Or if we're still now bids are right here. But I'm going to show you, hey, what we're doing with our stop. It's going to be tight. We'll actually come right below this consolidation here. So we do have a little stalemate right here. This is the first place that buyers stepped in. This is not off the homework. This is not at a level. This is strictly a momentum trade. This is going to be wrong. Sellers just came to push down. There would be a bit of luck here that that this particular area holds and not push down to test closer to overnight low. One second here. So we have our stalemate right now that if I had to guess is going to go into the direction of the sellers. But we're going to remember the purpose of this trade is inventory completely net short, B-shaped profile overnight, tiny gap. We expect the gap to get filled. We're looking to just trade the momentum of the open, a reversal of the initial push down. But looks like sellers have not been willing to get away here. They're kind of being stubborn. I really would have liked to have seen. Really would have liked to have seen about this break here. We got one large trade here coming in as a sell. So we have seen buyers step in, but not really the reversal and push that I was looking for, admittedly. Okay, so let's take a while. Now we're coming down the zone. We are. This is now getting to a point where we're getting closer to a level. We're going to want to watch for buying to step in. On the flip side, we have not pushed towards filling the gap. We could also start watching for a pullback here with an opportunity to potentially go short. But I am more interested right now in the idea of a buy. You know, I got these fucking people texting me. Hour and a half a day, I asked to be left alone. Take my eyes off the screen for a minute. And there might not have been something here to show buying, but yeah, so we've gotten a pullback here towards middle of day. VWAP 47.43, low 47.36. It's a little early in the day to be too concerned about the range. Yeah, positive divergence on 610. Only on 610 though. So I do actually like this. I do like this starting to form as a potential short here. Buyer stepped in there one more time. So I'm sorry, sellers just stepped in. Take a short here. And again, we're tightening up our stop. We saw sellers hold right at this spike up. But right now, buyers are being reluctant to drop. You know, as we were trading bid, buyers are adding contracts. As we're trading offers, we're losing contracts. So there's a push up by the buyers. Nice response there by the sellers. Let's see here, 41. If we can get 47.41 to go offer, we got to see these 62, now 60, look like 67. Need to see these contracts go down as we trade them. And we're trading a few of them there. And it did decrease. Didn't really see any adding on. There's a little bit of adding on. And we're seeing adding on the offer as well as we trade it. That was a nice shot to the bid, but they had it back on. So we've gotten the offers to come down to 47.41. Let's see. And if you remember, and give me a second, I'll see if I can't help us remember. Let's go pull this up. I'm just going to look for the pictures we took. I think I was taking pictures of my hypotheses. Oh, so something's frozen here. I don't know what's about to happen on my computer. I got things spinning and running. Let's get some of this out of the way here. This one is just fine where it's at. So we just had a hold here at low of day. Overnight low. It looks like we really do want to test this overnight low. Okay. I don't know why I'm not able to. Something's going on here. Yeah, I'm getting some type of problem here. Big sell right there towards the low. Buyers are definitely defending down here. Have not seen aggressive buying. We've seen some absorption down here, but we have not seen aggressive buying. So now let's see if we can't get, there's some more. We just saw the bids stiffen up again as we were trading 47.37. That was a nice hit to the bid. Didn't really see much adding on yet. Let's see if we can't get that to go offer now. Looks like, I can't tell. I think that is now. Nope, bids are back. Really holding firm there. At 47.37, those bids down there were absolutely absorbing and holding their ground quite nicely. So you see we're trading offer. We're losing some contracts. We're getting some back on. That's holding okay. And right there, we gained some contracts again while we were trading offer. Now we need to start trading bid and see if we can't lose some of those 75 contracts down there, 76, 77, stacking up there on the bid. Offers continue to refresh. They continue to put back on contracts as we trade there. So we're seeing absorption on the sell side here at 47.40. You know, basically the absorption just means that people are paying 47.40. The people are buying it from the offers of 47.40, but then those offers do not leave. They continue to add size. We need to see some of this order flow start hitting the bids, and let's see if we can't drop some of them. So right there, we do a little bit trading at the bid, not much. You know, you see this yellow number. That yellow number is not really decreasing. Decreased by 1. That was a nice one right there. Once again, seems like every time we touch offer, the offers are holding. There's a nice move down. Another one right there. Let's see if we can't break. BB still read in our favor. We're moving our stop to break even. I'm taking my first one out here. I'm tired of getting missed by a tick. Oh, I didn't even get that fill. That's bullshit. Okay, there was something I was looking at. I can't remember what it was. Oh yeah. We were trying to get our hypos to work. And that is certainly, I don't know why that's been giving me trouble. Our profit target again was hit to the tick, but not filled. That happens way too often for my taste. Yeah, so I hate to do it. I don't know why the hypos are not working, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. Up one. So let me show you where we have our next profit targets. Next one is going to be at this swing low here. And the last one is above the low from, let me bring in the homo chart to show it to you. So our next profit target right above this swing here. And our last profit target, we're actually going to move out as our runner. Now, admittedly, I'm not saying I expect it to get there in this particular move, but since I am in front of the screen, I will have the ability to adjust my stop as I see fit. Buying stepped in here. I don't really have a reason for it. Yeah, I really don't see anything to tell me why. Huh? Let's see if we can't get sellers stepping in. There we go. Nice push. Hold our second one. Now what we're going to start watching for, so we're going to move our stop down behind this. That's only a couple ticks. Oh, you know what? Every tick matters. Right behind here. And I have my finger on the trigger if I feel the need to do one of two things. Add back into this short position or close my trade. Right now, going straight down is just completely fine for me. Ultimately, we don't expect that to continue to happen. Definitely going to start watching around this 47.05 and could easily be above that we start looking to close the trade. But looking for opportunities to move down my stop to an area that number one would lock in some more profit, but number two also makes sense to us on the chart. I don't want to be stopped out in right in this consolidation or right in this consolidation right now. I like where my stop's at. I'm behind VWAP. I'm behind overnight low. 21 EMA. This is a very reasonable and logical place for my stop at this point. As for potentially adding on a pullback towards VWAP, a pullback towards this consolidation, which honestly I'd rather not see. Right now the way this is going, we have not even zero attempt to close what's a very small gap. This is a further, obviously a further push down from the overnight trade. Well, if we get below that 47.0, this swing here, let's bring back in the homework chart so we can see it together. If we get below this, there's really nothing down here. I'm sure if I scroll back far enough, maybe I can invent a level, which is exactly what I'm doing now. I'm just scrolling back. So the reason you're not seeing anything here is because there's nothing there to see. I can say, let's move out this VPOC. Hey, wait, my mouse doesn't look like it's supposed to. I can move out this VPOC, move out this VPOC. There's things I can, kind of create down here, but not tell you the truth, I don't even know why the hell I have this VPOC here. I see. This VPOC is naked from this day. So I found where this VPOC comes from. Let's see if there's anything else. There's really nothing. I mean, I'm going back now. It's almost a year. Oh, I got this swing down here. You know what? I am going to grab this. Gonna mark off this swing here. I'm not sure why I don't have that one. It's okay. And that is it. I do see beneath us that I have my levels plotted, not all that accurately, but plotted nonetheless. Okay. And although I'm drawing these out, these are in no way helping with the current trade. These are beneath where we're at, quite a bit beneath where we're at. I'm actually going to, I think this is the VPOC, yeah. I'm going to take this, drag this down to here. I don't believe I saw that breached. I don't believe I saw that naked VPOC touched as we move forward. So I'd like to actually keep that on the screen. There's our swing low here. That's it. I'm back to the beginning of my chart. Okay, so that being said, let's come take a look at what is happening. So anyway, there's why I have my third profit target where I do. Yeah. Okay. Now that doesn't mean we forget everything else that we look for. We're going to watch to see if we get strong positive divergence on attempts back down in the BBs. You look at the 610, we've come up, 987, we've come up, but I don't believe we've come up nearly enough to create a positive divergence, depending on what happens now. If we start consolidating up here and take our time to come back and retest low, I think we could show positive divergence. If we if we move up more, of course that would obviously make the BBs come up, but that doesn't tell us for sure that there would be positive divergence on a retest down. We weren't watching, so I can't really tell you what the buying pressure looked like over here. So I can't tell you if there was something that should have been obvious to us saying, okay, this looks like we might get a turn. We're going to move our stop a little closer towards overnight low. behind VWAP, behind mid a day, behind overnight low, behind this large offer here, although that honestly doesn't mean much right now. What I'd like to see is if we could get a turn back down, I would come down with my stop at least to above this little micro double top, potentially above this swing here. But we really have, we need to see this turn back down, start making its way towards lows of the day before doing that. Now, I'm not really, I'm not against the idea of getting into a long trade here. We do have a level down here. We're looking to see if we can form some positive divergence. If we can get some buying with that positive divergence, I'd be more than happy to close out of my trade and reverse this into a long trade. Off of this level or near this level. So just keep that in mind. Right now we're talking about what we're going to do, how we're going to manage the risk on this particular short trade. And we are also, in that same breath, we could be looking to add on to this short trade. There's enough range here. Let's just say, for example, we get a pullback towards middle of the day, VWAP 47.31, 47.30. We can absolutely be looking to add on to our short with an idea that we're going to come and test low of day at 47.16 or a couple ticks above. We absolutely could be looking to do that. Right now, we're seeing we have this swing high. We're now pushing back towards the low. Gonna want to see what happens to these BBs here. 610 definitely looks like it's going to have positive divergence at the low. 987 looks like it should have positive divergence if we come near the low. So I think for now, what we'll do, see this swing here is we need in order to move our stop, really what we'd like to see is this swing hold and then we push down. But right now this is setting up more, in my eyes, for what would be nice, a retest of the low. We'll close out our third contract, a retest of the low, and looking for an opportunity to reverse. Now, again, we have to see what happens between here and here, as we've seen that those BBs can change awfully quickly. And I have not really been paying much attention to order flow because I'm not looking to engage in a trade at this right here at this price. But I guess now's as good a time as any to start watching. We see right there sellers coming down. Sellers are coming down. Let's see if we can start hitting these bids. We just did. Sellers are starting to push. Okay, big response there. Big response by the buyers. So right here, let's see. Trading the offer is adding size. Okay, we got through it. A couple of large offers stacked up there. They seem to be holding their ground. Sellers seem to be holding their ground. Right here is where we saw buyers step in just a couple of seconds ago. Let's see right here, that's right there. So it again, 47.24. We came down to it and immediately got pushed away. And on the flip side, this is where we saw sellers hold just a couple of seconds ago. So 47.24 to 47.27. Very obviously tight, ridiculously tight range, but that seems to be the battle right now in this consolidation. You can see how it's creating the positive divergence in the BBs. Buyers are continuing to step up here, though. They're coming to challenge these large offers. Large offer just got hit. You see a big trade just went there. We lost a lot of size there on the offer. And the bid has continued to step up and add size. It's doing it again. So we are seeing buyers coming up and aggressively buy, and we are seeing sellers absorb up here. We're seeing sellers take all those orders and not let the price get above here. Offers just built up again. So with the bids. Here again, these buyers have stepped up and have held their ground, coming up to these sellers that are absorbing here, and they just did it again. They got down there. Okay, there you go. Buyers push through. We did see a lot of selling there. I'm very tempted to look for a short. Sellers have stepped back down. Opening in the S&P. I'm going to flip over there for a second, because if you remember, one of the things we're looking for is a push down with an opportunity to buy. I did not have a chance to do the homework I wanted to on the S&P. I'm looking for the same exact trade I watched for at the open in oil that failed, and it's not letting me move my stop. I have no idea why this computer has been giving me trouble. I should be stopped out at this, and I'm going to stop myself out. Okay, oil has turned down, but here's what we got. We have strong positive divergence, and I am reversing this trade. Tight stop. Okay. Unfortunately, the way this handled my profit target is not good. I don't have the opportunity to put out. All right, so we'll do it this way. We'll cancel. Okay. You'll understand in a minute what I'm doing, but for now, never mind. Get rid of all these. Okay. I am watching for a long here. I'm watching for buyers to step in. Okay. We're now back into a normal. Jumped in a little early here. I really should have let the buyers establish themselves, or not, before jumping in here. I jumped the gun here a little bit. I don't know if the sellers are done pushing down here. Yeah, that was not all that appropriately handled. We see the S&P did what we were looking for. It's a shame that I don't know why I keep getting a lag on what it is I'm doing. So I am watching. The assumptions I'm going to get stopped out here on oil, but I am watching for the area where buyers step back in. Okay. I like the positive divergence on the 610, the 987. I'm going to look to see if we can't continue it as we come down to this level. I'm actually going to jump ahead of this level. And at the same time, I am watching for a sign, and that is a decent one. Watching for the sign of buyer stepping in. We did just see it. We did just see the bids hold as we were coming down. We saw the bids hold and start pushing back against, but that has not closed that way. Sellers have come back in here. This is where the buyers stepped in. This is where we saw it. The S&P did exactly what we were looking for. Push down at the open. Come back up. So we're watching an oil here to see if the buyers can continue to defend down here. We've seen there's right there, nice big bid come up. No, sellers are definitely willing to try to push down further. I don't believe this move is over. Uh-oh. There we go. I had two orders that kind of stacked up. I couldn't really see which was which. So again, saw buyers step in. But we need to see some follow through here. No. Definitely not follow through there. Sellers again. We saw buyers come in here. What's happening is I am falling a little bit of victim to this microscopic view of the order flow, admittedly. Lots of selling down here. Large bids are here resting. Let's see if buyers can't step up. They just did there. Continued selling pressure here here on oil. Really nice move here on the S&P off the open. Let's see here. Let's see what's going on at VPOC here on oil. Looks like sellers are holding their ground. Buyers have stepped up. See if we can't get a move back towards overnight low. Just watching to see. Our buyers continue to step up. Right now they are. Want to get above these micro, this micro triple top, get outside of this little area of consolidation. Buyers do seem to be showing some strength right there. Let's see if the sellers are willing to get out of the way, or if buyers are just willing to run right through them, or able to run right through them, I should say. Sellers holding their ground right there. There's a nice big bid. We see a big buy come up there. Nice large trade went off, but sellers are still absorbing right up here, 47.17. Okay, game bid. Now let's see if we can't stay there. No, sellers came right back in. There's a nice big bid, 47.17. But it has failed like the last few we've seen up here. Again, really nice shape coming together on the BBs. We need to get away from this consolidation. To the upside, that is. Large sell just came down here, and the offers are starting to push down. You can see how much more liquidity there are on the offers here. Over 100 on all of them and under 100 on everything on the bid. Definitely not a very good sign of strength there. Let's see if buyers can hold in this area one more time. So far they have. Maybe there's that nice little, sometimes we need a little move down to build up some energy and then push through. Let's see if that's what that was. Over on the S&P, we have nice positive divergence on all the time frames. Watching the S&P for a long here too, actually. You could see positive divergence as we tested the lows. Selling pressure still coming down on it. I'm looking for a decent risk to reward opportunity here. I'm going to tell you what, we're going to jump in here. It's exactly where I want my stop loss to be, below overnight low. I like my first profit target here where it is underneath overnight VPOC. Where are we in 19? We're going to come underneath value area high here. Push to within a tick right there. Big sell just stepped in, not the that missing me by a tick shit's gotta stop. Here we come again at the 17 was the area that we saw absorption on oil, so we're coming near there again. Let's see if we can't get filled on our S&P here. There's some buyers stepped up. Gotta get filled here. There's no way. Okay. And you see my second profit target right now is above below current high of day. But I would be willing to move that. I would be willing to close out of my trade potentially, depending on what it is we see. I mean, we still have nice positive divergence. I don't like how on these BBs here we have this downward slope. I mean, it reflects the price, so that makes sense. But I like, I like this little uptrend showing here better. But let's see what happens. Looks like we might have held VWAP as resistance here, the way this is shaped right now. Certainly not what we're looking for. And we're still trying to test this 47.17. Let's watch the order flow here on oil. It looks like sellers are stepping in a tick lower now at that 47.16. There we go. Come on, let's see. Can we get above here? This is where we saw sellers absorbing right here. 47.17. Looks like they're doing it again. There we go. Big bid right at the current price. Come on, get up. Get away, offers. We're not trading the offer. There we go. No. Came right back in. I am moving my stop to break even. I don't like the amount of pressure coming up here. I'm getting rid of one. I'm actually getting rid of two. Leaving my third on. I just don't like how that kept stepping in. And if it ends up breaking here, so be it. I'll treat my third as a runner and I'll move my stop along with it. But just too much, just too many times that we saw absorption. Let's see what happens here at VWAP. S&P coming through overnight VPOC. See if we can't get a test. Let's see if we can't get a test here. See if S&P can't push up towards overnight high. BB still read very nicely for us. Let's see if we can't get some buying follow through here on the S&P. There we go. Again, got to a tick of my target. Seller stepping in there, of course. So remember, oil 17 was where we were absorbing on the sell side. It will be interesting to see what happens if we pull back to it and we start hitting it on the bid. What will happen there? It is not uncommon to see what they call flipping the book, where it was an area that offers were absorbing, and now it becomes an area where bids are absorbing. What we haven't seen yet is a large bid fill in that area. We've been the buying strength definitely has been okay as we've come above it, But this is what we want to see. We want to see if this will hold as support here. S&P looks like it's going to take one more crack at my profit target. There we go. And now we are going to, I actually got to bring in my homework chart because in all honesty, I don't know what the hell is, oh, I see, okay. So let's stretch this out a little bit. We see, you know, still big gap down from Friday. Currently, I have my profit target on the other end, inside this low volume area. You know what, I'm kind of happy with that. I could probably cheat it up a little bit. Where are we at? 26.50. I could probably add, shoot, I could probably add a point and a half. Yeah, we're going to do 27 quarter as our profit target. And now we are also going to start looking for places to move our stop. You know, again, at some point, it's not just a question of do we like where our stop is in relation to price, but it's also a question of risk versus reward. So we're coming right below here, right below value area high. We have some consolidation here. We're cheating in behind that as our stop. Of course, we're going to also be watching for these BBs, see if we get negative divergence as we, you know, push through highs. Right now, we are certainly not. And we see oil continuing to just consolidate and sit here at this 47.17 now on the bottom as support. And we want to see if we can't get above VWAP. VWAP is flattened out. VPOC holding as resistance. This former swing holding as resistance for now. Still very strong positive divergence. Here goes the S&P further up. Still no negative. Nothing showing us any slowdown in this push up here. Moving my profit target now. This is a risk versus reward play. Okay, you know, we've come up to 25.50. I got 2 points on reward, 2 points on risk. So, you know, there's no reason for me to keep my stop way down here. No need to keep my stop way down here if my profit target, and I have no intention of moving this profit target further up. So I want to have no worse than a 1-to-1 reward to risk. There we go. I will take my stop here. You saw how it came right up to my profit target, turned down. I only had a couple of ticks left. If it were to ultimately spike up to get me, I wasn't willing to risk a point and a half to get there. So we are out of our S&P trade. Nice trade. Nothing to show that the move is over here. Really, again, if you wanted to treat it like a true runner, certainly could have let it keep going and moved your price point away without having our homework in place. To be honest with you, I'm happy to have a trade go that well for us without any true preparation. Look at oil here continuing to push. 17 is becoming our stop. We're coming right below that at 16 for a bunch of reasons. You could see it in the chart of consolidation, but we also know that that is exactly where the bids. We're coming up against this low volume ledge here. You know, you see where the value area ends. It also the volume ends too. So that could easily become resistance there. We saw some buying step in here on the breakout. Let's see if VWAP can hold a support. Nothing to see right now on the S&P except stuff to get us upset in the event it continues to push. But I have absolutely no problem with that. Absolutely no problem with that. Like I said, without proper preparation this morning, we used a level as a profit target. We followed appropriately with a stop. I have no problem with the way we got out of this trade. All the profit targets along the way up all made sense. I was happy with every one of them. Not quite getting that same push from oil as we're seeing in the S&P. But it does seem to still show some buying strength here. We've gotten above VWAP. Let's see if we can't get above middle of day. So S&P, keep in mind, we have not closed the gap yet on the S&P. That is here, okay? And, you know, the reason why I did not put my profit target up here was because, remember, the larger the gap, the less likely it is to close. So I liked having a level below that to use as a profit target. So that kind of worked out nice. So here on a pullback, you could be starting to watch for longs. It would need to pull back a little bit more than this. And the flip side is you could be starting to watch for negative divergence on the BBs for a short. Those are the two things that you could be looking for right now in the S&P. Oil still bumping right up against this low volume. The nice thing about it is if we push into here, it should be a fairly quick run through this entire low volume area, but we need to get into it. Remember, low volume areas do one of two things. They repel price, which this has done so far. It's worked as a ceiling, but once you get through them, it's kind of like, you know, a slip and slide. They tend to be slippery. They tend to let price get through. But that's not, we have not penetrated into it yet. So we're seeing it right now act as the ceiling. Big buy here at VWAP. You see S&P pulled back down to the 21 EMA, the opening range high, or close to it. Did not get to the opening range high. I'm sorry. And while this is happening, let me. Oh, big buy right there. What time are we at? Okay, so we're going to call it a morning in just a minute. I'm just going to I'm going to change these blue bids over to green, and hopefully this time I remember to make that my default. And give that a minute to reload. Hopefully this will, the next time we are forced to close NinjaTrader and reopen it, like I did last night in preparation for today. I didn't want to, because I remembered to, I didn't want to have it, you know, like last week where I had to wait for the charts to reload and the connection to, you know, kick back in. So I actually remembered to do that last night. Okay, so to be honest with you, we actually really should have had another decent trade here in the S&P. Fumbled around a bit here at the open, but this is what we were looking for. I got a little bit aggressive as to where I entered originally, but should have certainly have entered the trade in a place where my stop could be below the overnight low. Remember, we were talking about it being inventory net short. We'd love a push down towards overnight low, give us a chance to get in and watch for a move back up. Certainly would have had a good chunk, if not all of this move. We saw how we reacted to the positive divergence down here. Really good trade entry. Much one of the better trades we've done, not just from the profit that we made on it, but what it is we used as our triggers. Here we come right back up again to it. Let's see if we can't get through this ledge. First time we've tested up here. 28, 27 has been holding. 28 has not broken. See, again, sellers just step right in. Excuse me, step right in there. Anyhow, other than that, like I said, in all honesty, I have not. We did not complete our S&P. There we go. There's a push into it. Let's see if now we can't get that that faster move that we would expect. Let's see if this can happen. I don't see. I see middle of the day above us here, and then we got overnight low. But in fact, I think that's where we're going to come down to, right below overnight low. I want to be inside this low volume area. So if we do get that slide I was talking about, and actually, as we're talking about it, I'm not. S&P pushing, no negative divergence, only on one of the charts. Only 1597 shows negative divergence. Okay, I am looking to close my oil trade here. Just want to watch for a second before I go. Order flow, I see there again, offers refreshed. I like how we have been trying to get through that low volume area. We've only, we stepped into it by one tick, so really haven't given it a chance to slide through. But I'm going to leave it the way it is. I have my profit target in. I have my stop loss in. So profit target up here, stop loss down here. We have this consolidation that's held, VWAP holding a support. If those break, then I'll be okay with getting stopped out of my trade. If they don't, then like I said, I think we should be able to make a push towards overnight low and ultimately take out my profit target. And at this point, I am going to call it a morning. Let's see if we can. Okay, there we go. That's it for that. Decent morning. Couple of overly aggressive ones on our part, but decent morning of trading. I'll review my own video tonight. All right, guys. Have a great day. If you have any questions, you know how to get in touch with me. All right. Bye-bye.